Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I'm here with the final part of my file folder folio journal tutorial. There was supposed to be one other part, but I don't know if I forgot to hit the record button or if the camera shut itself off, but I did add pockets here, just pockets with little thumb holes. I added an envelope here, and all I did was glue down the flap so the envelope flips out this way. And I put down this pocket from Cara Brandon, and what I explained in the video was whatever you put in this pocket, you'll want it to be tall enough to hold the envelope closed when you're sort of like we put the little tuck here to keep these papers from flopping. Whatever you put in this pocket will keep the envelope from flopping. So I did that. And then here, let's see if I can grab one. I just covered a paper bag that I have just like this one. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They are about 3.5 inches wide by 6 3/4 inches tall. And I just covered the bottom flap, slid some paper down and covered the front. I left the top gusseted. And I glued the little flap down on both sides to create a little pocket. And then I glued that right here. So nothing I did in the last video that I didn't record was difficult by any means. Okay, so that brings us to the last part of the tutorial, which is getting our journal in. Now, my file folder is 8.5 inches long, and the way I'm going to do a Midori style binding in this, so I'm going to want my journal, if my file folder is 8.5 inches tall, I want my journal to be 1 inch shorter than the length of my file folder. So my journal will be 7.5 inches tall. And I just did a very simple 7.5 inch tall journal with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and just put some papers in it. Then the width of my project, I had made the file folder at, I believe it was 5 1/4 inches wide. So I made the width of my journal 5 inches wide, so that when my journal is inside here, it doesn't poke out the side. Okay, so, and that I figured you didn't need to see because you can do whatever kind of journal in here that you want to. Probably a soft cover single signature would be best, but whatever you want to do. You just want to remember that you'll want it to be 1 inch shorter and about 1/4 inch narrower than the width of your overall project. Okay. Now here's where this gets tough, because to do this, I'm going to have to use my big crocodile. And I've already marked this, but I'm going to go back. Go to the center of your signature. And you are going to want to mark 1/2 inch from the bottom edge, 1 inch from the bottom edge, 1/2 inch from the top edge, 1 inch from the top edge, and then you'll want to mark the center, which in this case, it's 8.5 tall, so 4 1/4 would be the center. Okay, so I've got those marked. Now, when I'm using my Crop-A-Dile, I really prefer using my handheld Crop-A-Dile, but to get to that center, I've got to use my big one. And the only reason I really don't like using this one is because, for whatever reason, I don't know if I just haven't figured it out well or what, but I always have a difficult time getting my holes lined up with this thing. Not top to bottom, but side to side. Okay, so I'm going to punch a hole there. We're just going to have to go with it and hope for the best. Even on my last one, my holes were not super even. Like I said, the top to bottom is no problem for me. It's the side to side that I have trouble with. Okay, so far so good. Maybe because I'm talking instead of thinking so much, that's actually helping. So everywhere I marked, all 5 places, the 1/2 inch and then 1 inch from the top to the bottom, and then the center, I'm going to put holes in all of those 5 places. Okay. That's actually not too bad. That's much better than my first one came out. Okay. So, now before I forget, let's move that to be the eyelet setter. Okay. And now, of course, I need to... Where did my eyelets go? I need to put eyelets in all of those. Before I do that, though, I'm going to grab a couple of clips just to keep these from getting in my way. Put clips on those. And I want the pretty side of my eyelet to be on the outside. So I'm going to set one eyelet and then I'll do the rest of them. I'll pause the video to do the rest of them. Okay, so there's one set. So now I'm going to set the eyelets for the other 4, and then I will be right back. Okay, I got my eyelets set, and now what I've got is I've got this piece of elastic, and this is just thick elastic cord that I'd picked up at Michael's. It came on a variety pack of different colors. And I've cut off about 1 yard. I won't need that much, but I always start with more than... I'd rather have too much and have to cut some off than have too little. Okay, so I'm going to fold my cord in half. And I'm going to feed it from the inside. I'm going to feed the looped end from the inside to the outside in the center. Okay. And now I'm going to set my journal in there for now. Just setting loosely. because what I want to do is I want to figure out how big my loop needs to be. See, like this is way loose to be my closure. So I'm going to take my ends and I'm going to pull them down. And of course, you're going to want it to have a little bit of give because we still haven't added embellishments and stuff, but you don't want too much give. So that should be good. So I'm going to hold my ends, pull that back around. And now before and this is where it gets a little testy, I want to put a knot in this to keep it from moving around. And I should have mentioned, I didn't, and I should have. The eyelets I used for this elastic band were just 1/8 inch eyelets. You would need to judge what size eyelets and holes you need based on the size of your elastic. And so when I just create a knot there, all right, let's be sure I did it okay. Then that'll keep this loop from going back through the hole. And there we've got that. Okay, so that's all good. So move my journal for a moment. Now I've got the two ends. I'm going to take one end and feed it through the bottom at the bottom hole at the top. Send it out. And then I'm going to come back in through the top hole at the top. And just pull that. And I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Out through the bottom hole. And in through the top hole. Okay. Now I want to put my journal in. And open it up to the center. And I'm simply going to tie my journal in. And again, I want to, this part for me, I want it to be snug. I want to be able to get my journal in and out, but I don't want my journal to go flopping around. So I just kind of play with it to see how tight I want it. And of course it's elastic, so it gets kind of tricky to hold and tie without loosening up. Okay, and I'm going to double knot that. And I'm going to triple knot it just for safety. All right, and now I can just cut my ends off. And hopefully my journal, yeah, see, my journal won't come. I didn't leave it too loose. But now my journal is in there, but I can easily take it out to write in it, to add stuff to it, to do whatever I want with it. And then just slide it right back in, close everything up, close that, and I am ready to travel. So that is the basic construction of this file folder, folio, and journal. The next thing, I'm going to go back in, I'm going to decorate, I'm going to add some ephemera to it. And in the next video, I will do a flip through of the finished project. But that is the basic construction of this file folder folio. So until next time, everyone, please be safe, stay healthy, happy crafting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.